Hello class, we're doing Bluebook 8.3 even, numbers 4 to 24, okay? Let's get started. First of all, the lesson in essence is showing us how to use multiplication and division with inequalities, okay? Now, we do know that when we are multiplying or dividing by a negative integer to both sides, that the inequality reverses its direction. Okay, so we want to be mindful that we keep that in mind, that when we multiply or divide by a negative integer, that the inequality reverses. Okay, let's take a look. Let's start with the first one. On the first one, we want to isolate our 4 instead of instead of multiplying by 4, we're going to divide by 4, and therefore x is less than 1. Okay, and so we are asked for number 4 is to use a table to solve the inequality. Basically, we're just going to solve for the variable. Here, number 6, we find that we must divide by a -5, divide by -5. Okay, and once we do that, then we recognize that once we divide by -5, our x is isolated, but our inequality changes directions. And so 15 divided by -5 will give us a -3. Okay, now from there, number 8, x divided by -2. We recognize that we must multiply this by -2, and we multiply this by -2. Okay, once that happens, it cancels out our -2, isolating our x, but our inequality changes directions. Okay, and once it changes directions, what we realize is that we are left with 5, but in this case, it will be a -5 for number 8. Okay. All right, so now let's move forward to number 10. Number 10, we're dividing both sides by 3 to isolate n. Once we have isolated n is greater than 6. Okay, that's number 10. Let's move on to number 12. On number 12, we find that we want to isolate m by dividing both sides by 1.2, divide both sides by 1.2, and once we do that, then we find that m is less than 10. Okay, all right, moving forward. Okay, we are looking at number 14. Right, and so when we look at number 14, we find that w is being divided by 5, so we want to multiply both sides by 5, multiply by 5, and therefore w is left alone. And then we multiply by 5. 5 times 6 is 30. That's 10 plus 3 is 13. With one number behind the decimal point, it becomes a negative value here for number 14. All right.